morning.
Morning.
Should I come through here again?
Yep. Alright. That door's open for you.
Alright. Hey there, Skunky. Oh yeah. Nice. Wonder if I can even just put it over this thing. Yeah, that way I don't want to walk through the house with it. Yeah, I don't think you want me walking through your house with it, so
Probably not.
set it up over the the fence there. I have a invoice you can, if your landlord needs it.
Yes, that'll work.
Tell her my e-transfer is on there. If she can
Okay.
pay me this weekend sometime, that'd be
Sounds good.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Atomic skenotomy. Good morning. It is just about 9 o'clock in the a.m. on Saturn Day, the 20th of September 2025 at the, I think we're at the end of the lunar cycle. I haven't been watching the moon. Let's see where we're at, because we could be moving into the first winter moon by now. I bet we're just at the end. Oh, no, we're at the new moon. Yeah, so we are leaving summer, entering our first winter moon, which this time around is going to be Awaka Sikitsum, the deer moon. We are done with our summer moons. Hey, my girl. I'm just getting my round going this morning. I believe this is the only animal I have to pick up. This one, the skunk. We'll go over here to the wilderness park and release it. Haven't had snake calls for a few days now. Probably closing in on a week now. Most of them are back at their dens. Maybe we'll visit a den today. But they will be going under pretty soon. The nights are getting colder, longer. Trees are starting to turn. We'll take a look at how everything is doing today. I gotta go to the pond for something. But today is a special day, actually, for me. Today marks the first year anniversary since the day that Des and the boys came to live with me. So it's been a full year now, and a lot has happened. And mostly good stuff, you know, even in the bad stuff. Like we had some run-ins with the police and the courts and stuff this year, but it's basically because Des was trying to straighten me out. Sometimes had to use some force. And it worked out, you know. I'm a pretty different character than the crazy guy that she originally came to live with. And she's quite a bit different herself too. We both straighten each other out a bit, I think. But anyway, yeah, it's anniversary day, so that's cool. I saw last week during my walk and talk with Carol, we went to Spokane to the pond, and we spotted a mink. I don't know if I'll put I filmed it too. I don't know if I'll put the film on because it reveals exactly where the mink hangs out. And I kind of want to keep that a bit of a secret so that just doesn't attract a million nature photographers over there, you know. But I also want to go set up a game cam and see if we can get a little video clip or photo or something to show you of the mink in action. I did set up a game cam. Was it last Sunday and Monday night, or Monday and Tuesday night, something like that? But in both cases, I was using my Bushnell, and it's just way too sensitive, even when it's set to the lowest sensitivity. And so any little movement of the grass and stuff like that triggers it off. And I just had like 2 hours of video stream basically from the first couple hours after I put it out there, and then it ran out of space on the little memory card. So I've got a second game cam. This one's also a little sensitive, but I'm gonna try it. I'll go set it up there tonight and we'll see overnight how it goes. Yeah, the season is a turning. Season is a turning. And pretty soon I'm going to be out of work, and that's scary. Supposed to be doing a documentary film about the Maslow Blackfoot connection over the winter, and I'm supposed to be getting paid for that. But hey, never mind. She saw a little rabbit on the road. Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting paid for that, but I'll believe it when I see it, you know. Till then, I've got to continue to just hustle, and figure out how to make my bills each month. But this morning, it's all worked out. We got a skunk. That's a little bit of revenue for today. If we just get a little bit more somewhere in the day doing something, I'll make my quota, make my bills. You can see the coulees got to a much drier look now. It is the time to harvest Watersnake. Maybe we'll go do a little bit of that as well. Watersnake is the cactus berry, the ball cactus berry. Yeah, maybe we'll go to the west side and go to the dog park over there. It's near a snake den area and an area with some stutsimon in it. And I haven't had a single berry yet this season, so maybe go pick a few of those for the occasion. Figure out what we're gonna do about the anniversary thing, and see where the round takes us. I've got a few things to say today, a few things to share. In fact, I think after I release this skunk here, I'll show you some video clips of the last snakes of the season. So far anyway. I might still get, who knows, a couple more rattlesnakes or something. Last snakes of the season, and an odd skunk that was in somebody's backyard, and for whatever reason just was refusing to leave. It wanted to be in this one little area of the backyard, and I had to go, physically lasso it and get it out of there. It was bizarre. It didn't look injured. Like I thought maybe it got hit by a car or something. Something's wrong, or it didn't look like it had distemper or anything like that, but something was bizarre. So, who knows? Let's let this little guy go. That's enough. Hey, you quit it. That's enough barking. Calm yourself. All right, we'll move on.
Well, it's a challenge.
Yeah, that'll be a.
I think I made your life hard.
Yeah, if he's underneath cement, I won't be able to.
This oiled up over there. I should have just left them. But then when I left them, he moved.
Yeah.
So, watch the dog.
No
Go
worries.
there. He's right in that corner under this cement block there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that might make your life a little difficult.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Kind of digging under there looking for him.
If you have to pull that block over, it's fine with me. We can fix it later.
All right.
Do you carry anti-venom with you, just in case?
No. There's no such thing to carry with you, because it's like, in order to actually treat a snake bite, you need like 10, 12 vials of that stuff, and it's about $4,000 a piece, and you have to have it temperature controlled and shit. Nobody carries.
Because they're
I
not
see
that. I mean, they might make you a little sick, but nothing too terrible, right?
No, you're not gonna die from it.
No.
I see him under here.
Oh,
I
do
see
ya?
him. Yeah, I see him moving.
Yeah, we can move those blocks back.
Just don't wanna.
Yeah, you do what you need to do.
I don't want to squish him. He's under the next block, I think.
Yeah, he started moving along and I went, oh yeah, he's gonna go under that in that hole.
Yeah, I can see his body. I just don't want to get him hurt or me. There we go.
So how many of these do you do a day?
The most I've had is 7 in a day,
Huh?
but
Oh, there
usually,
you Good eye.
usually it's only maybe one. You know. Where are you going? You can't go nowhere.
Just give up while you can.
There's nowhere to go. Come on. You're coming out.
I need a bit.
Come on. No, you're coming out.
Now, will you be able to tell if that's a male or female, or kind of impossible?
It's looking like a male to me from its tail. I kind of can tell roughly based on the tail and the color. The color almost looks female, but the tail's pretty.
Well, I think it was you that came and got one from back here before.
Probably.
And then you came back the next day because you took it and it was a pretty big snake and you went, I think there might be a baby in there, and sure shit, there was 2. You caught.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I filled that hole in very quickly.
Come on now. You can't stay in there. Yeah, exposed.
Mad. So do you take him down to the van, or where does he go?
No, this will go down because you can't move them away from their natal dens, really.
Right?
Just got to get them away from the people, basically. So it's gonna go down the hill.
Yeah. Is that a little camera, or you?
Yeah, it's a little video camera. Nice.
Are you okay with puppies?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah?
of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to go around the side?
I
Or-
could.
Yeah?
Either
or
way.
you can come through. What's up? What's
Doesn't,
better?
I can go around the side, it's
Yeah?
alright.
Okay,
Doesn't
one
matter.
One sec, just because this guy might get a little excited. We can go, sorry, your name again? Is it Ryan?
Ryan, yeah.
Ryan, we can go through the lot beside there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think, because I know like at first like a bull snake and rattlesnake can look similar.
Yep.
If I had to guess, I'm going to guess rattle. But
Okay.
it's a baby, so I didn't hear any like vibration or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my guess is rattle.
Okay.
My husband, he's hunting right now. He has the tongs, and he normally will relocate them. I don't know if you know him, Everett Hanna?
No, I don't know.
No? But it's so funny because we found one in the backyard before, and so he was able to relocate it, but because he's hunting today, I was like, the one day they got us a baby. I didn't see anything else.
Okay.
But I just don't know how it got in. It's like because
if
we
it-
had
if-
the snake pen.
Yeah,
And
good
like
question.
my husband dug down like when he put it in and it's all around. Like what's your thought?
Usually it's the gates that are the weak points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's over.
And if it is a baby,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes you wonder if there's others.
So yeah, he's right over there.
Oh yeah, that's a rattlesnake.
That's a rattle?
Yep. That's a little neonate rattlesnake, alright.
And it doesn't have a rattle yet, right?
Nope.
Am I safe to be at this distance?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Totally.
I wonder if my
Yeah.
son wants to see. Actually, would you mind if I grab my son?
No, go ahead.
Okay, he might want to see.
Sure.
He might say after, Mom, why did you come get me?
There's a little snake there. We are gonna pop him into my hat and take him away. But he is so small. He is so small, he needs to go right to a den. Just a newborn. Just a newborn. Well, this year born.
So this is, you're actually here. So this is Ryan. And Ryan said it's okay if we're right here.
Oh yeah. You're safe.
Look, Ryan put it in his hat.
Yeah, you're safe.
Look.
It's right here. Little guy.
So yeah, he doesn't have a rattle yet, right?
No, he's just got the nub. Just got the first button. They
There goes his tongue, eh?
they do a shed. They do their first shed at this time of year,
Yep.
and he'll get one little more nub, but he still won't be able to make sound yet till he gets a couple of buttons.
But I was just doing some quick reading, and like they obviously can, you know, when they bite, give you that venom that the adults do. Obviously, the concentrations, or the amount, I should say, isn't as much, right?
Yeah, they can totally envenomate you if they bite you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see? It's okay. Ryan wouldn't let us get close.
No,
He's
you
safe.
can come right up to here and
Yeah,
you're
right
safe.
here. We'll let you know if we get too close.
He can't jump out at you or
Yeah.
anything.
Bye.
Just a little guy.
So do they like go to strike in the same way that the adults do?
Yeah, like he's poised to strike right now,
Yeah.
but he can only strike maybe here to here
Yeah.
at the most.
Oh my gosh. So okay. So you're wondering if like we need to be worried about?
Yeah, this is a neonate, so it's a newborn, and usually the females will in nature they look for flat rocks
Okay.
to to rook under, have their babies under.
Yep.
And with our you know, architectural urban environments, they a lot of times will go under concrete pads.
Oh.
Okay, so being that this is a little baby here,
Yeah.
obviously it was born somewhere not far from here.
Yeah.
Because hey, Skunky. Hold on. Let me put my camera down so I can get at you with two hands. He's actually kind of trapped. Well, he could probably get through some of those holes, but let's see what we can do here. Gotcha. Woohoo! There we have it. Well, back to the present. First day of the first winter moon, which happens also to be my anniversary day. It's gorgeous out here. No wind, mostly blue sky, little high stratus clouds here, smear of white. It's too warm really for me to be wearing this hoodie that I'm wearing. Gonna have to I'm gonna go back the other way and get back to the truck before I make a second lap. I'm gonna have to tear this off. Too warm. I think it's gonna be a generally hot day. Maybe we'll take the boys to the spray park or the river or something. I don't know. Something. Get out of the house if I don't have to work. I haven't had even spray work with my friend Tom recently. I had a job a couple of days ago, but we ended up, it was a it was kind of a rough day. Me and Tom's son Walker were out doing some work in Diamond City area in the coulees, and I was riding in the back of the truck, and Walker was driving, and we hit a hole, threw the truck into a hole, and that we couldn't have seen coming, you know. It wasn't Walker's fault or anything. Big old hole in the middle of a field that otherwise has no holes. And when we hit it, then I was sitting on a bucket and I fell back and ended up branding my shoulder against the hot pump engine that was behind me. And then we found out there was more than just the hole. When we hit the hole, it caused a mechanical issue. I think the starter got bumped or something. So we couldn't even get the vehicle running again. It's a big fiasco. Had to take my truck and rescue me and Walker, and he had to go back for that work vehicle later with his cousin. And the funny thing, when I dropped Walker off after the ordeal, just as I was pulling away, there was a wasp kind of moving around the cab of my truck, and I thought, well, windows are open, I'll just play it cool and the wasp will leave. No, unbeknownst to me, it ended up landing on my leg, on my shorts, and then I rested my forearm down there and got stung on the forearm, and it's still swollen and itchy, painful this morning. You know, a couple sleeps later. It's a bad luck day. That was my last work day for Tom. That was the only one this past week, I think. It's been slow. Yeah, the days of romping in the river will soon be over for these doggos as we transition to ice. Not too many flowers blooming still. Got these, oh look, this is a drone fly, as well as, what is that? That is a little tiny, also a bee mimic, but a fly. Here we have an actual bee, I believe, a sweat bee. Yeah, so there's a few asters still around. What is this one called? I almost forget. Hawk's beard, that tall yellow one. Hawk's beard, providing the only nectar in town these days. Or almost the only nectar.
Time, 20 minutes, 54 seconds.
We've gone a kilometer.
1.0 kilometers. Average pace.
We have a cabbage white butterfly.
53 seconds per kilometer. Split pace, 20 minutes, 53 seconds per kilometer.
What does he do? He's probably just warming up here on the river rocks. Very few white sweet clover still in bloom. The dogs are going to run it over because I pointed at it. Wanted to send a message up to my friend Nathan. my phenological colleague. He took my phenology, my year-long phenology course back, I think, over a decade ago now, and then has been engaged with phenological observations in his area of Edmonton ever since, and he's kind of groomed a little community of phenologically engaged people up there. They have I think it's called, is it called Inner Edmonton Ecology? I don't know. He's got a Facebook page that they share notes on, much like I do. I have a phenological Facebook page, but it's by invite only, and basically you have to be engaged in the study. Most people who are members of the page are there because they took they finished a year long of phenology study under me already, and I know that they're continuing. So but anyway, Nathan had responded to one of my last videos where I talked about the kind of combative stewardship, this thing that where ecological stewardship has become, or what is thought of as ecological stewardship has basically just become constant war under the mainstream culture, and warring against all kinds of plants and animals, particularly the ones that the agricultural industry doesn't care for, the ones that come and inhabit disturbed areas. I just wanted to pause here and show that there are still a few white clover flowers barely clinging to life. Though it's not seeing anything visiting them. But yeah, Nathan has done, I think, 2 video responses now to what I had to say about that combative stewardship, and he's right on board with me, but also has his own kind of angle on it. And he has cited some of the local ecologists up there who've published things about, for instance, the carigana, which is one of the targeted, invasive species, so to speak. And Nathan's perspective, and the people who he was citing's perspective, is basically that when we use the language that we're using now about how these species are invading and all of this are noxious, and we lose track of how complex the situation actually is, and how the presence of these species, the hated species, are really telling a story about the past impact on that space, and that most of these plants, the invasive plants and such that the industry is targeting, and the naturalists, the stewards, the stuff that they're targeting, are plants that indicate that this is a bit of industrial wasteland right here, and these are the plants that attend to those kind of disturbances. And so you can read more history into it if you understand what you're looking at with those plants too. And morning. Just have a more complex appreciation for the life that's continuing around you in the face of it actually being an industrial wasteland. you know. Now myself, I kind of feel like thinking of these places where these plants are growing as wasteland is also kind of has a negative connotation. It might be industrially impacted, but it's certainly not a wasteland. And the life is telling you this. You know, nature is continuing to do its thing, even in Chernobyl, and, you know, every place. Nature is not going to stop. And it adapts to what the situation is. And the presence of... Come on, Taylor! Let's go! Taylor! Taylor! Oh, she's barking at this lady's dog and being a nuisance. She just thinks she's playing, but... Taylor, come on! Let's go! Oh. Lady can't throw her ball because Taylor's being so annoying. Taylor! Let's go! Get going. Gonna start bringing a leash for you again if you don't listen. Anyway, yeah, I think it's a negative thing to call it a wasteland too. But it, you know, the life that's adapting to wherever is definitely telling you a story about the history of our engagement with that place too, what it's been, and then, you know, now we have time to consider, or now we have to consider what it's going to be. What can we learn? I mean, obviously we're impacting places. We should appreciate how we impact them and plan for, as best as we can, being a host for life. And to me, that doesn't mean, you know, you don't host life by going to war. You just don't, right? You host life by feeding it. And that's another thing that's, you know, naturalists consider taboo. Don't interfere. Don't feed it. It'll get habituated to you. Dude, it's all adapting to us anyway. And I feel like we project within the war trope around these plants and animals. We also project a lot of our own little social issues and stuff. Like the native and invasive dichotomy, you know. I mean, yeah, there's definitely like, you could say, like the hated European starling, you know. You can tell that story as a story of an introduced species that then just proliferated in the environment it was introduced to in North America, and maybe has taken over habitats and nesting cavities of a lot of native birds and this kind of thing. But the reality is that the decrease of those native bird species, you know, has been more aligned with whether they're being touched by us directly in other ways or by our domestic cats, you know. Much bigger impacts than starlings have made, kind of pushing birds out of nests or stealing nests and this kind of thing. And I think resource-wise, there's plenty to go around for as far as like what they eat and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, but the native invasive dichotomy, like of course as a pretendian or a race shifter, as I'm called, I'm familiar with the native invasive dichotomy very much at a personal level too, right? And so it feels to me like some of the same, model and thinking and rhetoric and politics and such goes from that human context and then is projected onto our relationships with nature and stuff too, and our thoughts about nature and what's going on out here. Just passing a couple of doggos. I remember very well my close friend, the late Frank Weaselhead, talking to me and Red Crow College students in my program about this native invasive dichotomy and what happens when that dichotomy gets into your thinking. And one of the examples that he used always to talk about this, he said he was invited to the kind of high school, St. Mary's, one day to do kind of elder storytelling sessions and meetings with the different classes of students. And so when he arrived at the high school in the morning, he met with the teacher who'd invited him and found that, the teacher guided him to this teepee that had been set up on the lawn and ushered him into this lodge. And Frank observed that, it was really set up nice. They had buffalo robes to sit on around the perimeter. They had maybe a willow backrest or two in there. They had nice painted curtains. And Frank praised the teacher, says, this is really nice how you've set it up here. Come on, Tay. The students are really going to appreciate this. It's going to be an experience for them. So Frank was happy about it. But then he asked that teacher, he says, how come when I go to your house, your actual where you live, you're missing some siding outside, you've got holes in your walls, inside one of your faucets doesn't work, broken countertop. How come you don't take as good care of your own house as you've done with this teepee? And the teacher told him, well, nito is ikatoapi. That the original lodge, the teepee, is really sacred. And girls, let's go this way. Get to the river. That the teepee is sacred. And Frank told him, sa kitois ikatoapi. Your home is sacred. That's where your family is. That's where you eat and sleep. It's your protection from the elements and other things. You know, it's where you're raising your children. That is the sacred place. And Frank warned my students, don't let it get into your mind, because if you think about it in the Blackfoot language, in the current Blackfoot language, there's a distinction being made linguistically all the time. Nitoyas, the original lodge, versus Napioyas, the white man's house. And if you think about it as that, and that you let that get in your head, that you're living in the white man's house, then you won't respect it as much. When really that's your most sacred place. And it's, you can catch this in the language quite a bit nowadays, even in the very name that the people call themselves. You know, Niitsitapi, the original people. I think that's a colonial label, you know, a post-colonial label. Just like with the other language, and it's dangerous to your mind. Frank says, you know, you'll end up being schizophrenic when two cultures come together. He would tell the students, you know, if there's a trait from that culture that would be beneficial, you take it, matsip. You take it and internalize it and make it part of your culture, adapt it into your culture inwardly. You don't borrow it. You know, you don't borrow it, because then you don't treat it like it's your own, and you don't respect it, and you know, you end up living schizophrenically like this, where you consider, you know, this basically this artifact of the past to be the sacred thing instead of your actual life that you're living, and you know where you are and what you're doing. So I think that was good, you know, good advice from Frank, and I think it applies also to the way that people are approaching this war on so-called invasive species. You know, one of my academic mentors, when I went to do my master's thesis at the University of Lethbridge, I had two supervisors, an anthropology supervisor, Steve Herzaka, and a native studies supervisor, Leroy Littlebear, who is also my wife's uncle. And Leroy was the one that established the Native Studies program at Harvard, by the way, and the Native Studies program here in Lethbridge, which is the oldest NAS program in Canada. And he's written a few things, obviously. And one of the essays that he's written that I think I encountered in a book of decolonized indigenous writing and such was a paper called Jagged Worldviews Colliding, and this is how he was describing the intersection of mainstream and indigenous cultures as jagged worldviews colliding. But reading that, what came to mind for me, you know, in terms of jagged, what have I encountered that's jagged in my life? Well, I grew up in Western Oregon, within an hour's drive from the coast on one side and the Cascade Mountains on another. And I know that the valley, the Willamette Valley where I lived, is, you know, doesn't have as much jaggedness in it. But up higher and at the coastline where things are in you know, flux and freshly either being created or freshly exposed, it's jagged. But as chunks of that, you know, erode and break away and move and, you know, with the tide or downhill or in the rivers and what have you, then they become unjagged. They become like these rocks, hey? Rounded, polished and rounded and stuff. And, you know, that's what comes to mind when I read Jagged Worldviews Collide. Maybe that's a good description, but I don't. I think like the indigenous that's entrenched here would be like this riverbed, and you might have a piece of the cliff break off with some jagged rock, newly introduced into the riverbed. Is it invading? It fell off the cliff because the processes of life in this world compelled it, you know, in this direction. It came into the water and it is jagged, and maybe it breaks a couple of the round rocks and gives them new jagged points to work on too. But most of the rocks are left in, you know, rounded, and as the jagged new ones kind of find their way and adapt into the established bed, they're going to become rounded too, you know. And that's the way I see it with these plants and such as well. They might be jaggedly entering into the ecosphere, into the bed of the local ecosphere, but they're not going to remain jagged. In fact, most of them, I try to show, are already very entrenched in the local ecology and being utilized by different plants and animals, and can be utilized by us too in some respects. So that's my response to Nathan's response. Here you can see the tansy is pretty much played out, going brown, going to seed. There's not a lot of tansy in Lethbridge. You really have to get across the mountains into BC and stuff before it's a common thing. All right, I'm gonna go over to the truck here, drop off my hoodie, and continue the dog walk. I don't know if I'll continue to record or not, but after the dog walk, we're gonna go up on the hill, see if we can find some Stutsimon. I'm up on the ridge now, looking for Stutsimon. Here we have some nice big group, and that's how to know that they're ready to go. They just come right out. If they're ready. That one's ready. That one's ready. That one's ready. Oh my goodness. I'm going to leave some of them, of course, for reseeding. Here's another. That one doesn't have any ready, I don't think. Yeah, this is a good area here on this ridge. This is the kind of short grass ridge that you need to find yourself some Stutsimon. Oh, look at these ones right here. Fat berry. Yeah, they're pretty much just coming right off of this plant. I'm gonna leave one at least. Never take it all, and if it's already been picked, it's already been picked. That one I pulled a little bit. Fuck. Ouch. Ouch. Getting stuck by the cacti. Not ready. Not really ready. They're ready. You know they're ready. Box Canyon. Eastuxco on the Blood Reserve is another really good place to find ball cactus, but they're all over the tops of the coulees here in Ecological. This big one, but I don't know how many berries it has. Not much for berries. Pretty cool stack of cacti though. I don't want to leave the dogs too long. Just wanted to get out here and grab a handful or more so I can bring some home. Let the boys try some. Ilya will like them, no doubt. My baby boy. Loco. My boy. Alright, I think I'll hop this fence and come back along this side and just walk my way back to the dogs who I left up here by the wood pile and see if I can find any more cacti along the route. Oh yes. You can see that some of them have got, looks like insects have got into them. Okay? I'll have to open that up and check it out. That's a good one. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna go home, and sounds like I gotta feed the dogs still. I didn't have any dog food when I woke up. I gotta stop at the store on the way home, grab some dog food, feed on my doggos, and see what's going on. It sounds like Des woke up in a shitty situation, literally. Ilya, our baby boy, had pooped in his diaper, and then took his diaper off in the bed, and no doubt continued to move around. So, oh, too bad I wasn't there for that one. Oh, poor Des. Poor Des. Ah, that one's pretty ouchy. Ouchie. I'm just gonna eat this one. It's like a little grape. It's kind of the consistency, you know. Not sure what Stutsimon literally says. I think it's talking about it being fancy in some way, maybe. When I hear that sound, stut, like stuts it uppy, you know, a fancy show-off type of person. Yeah, quick and easy harvest, and there's still a lot more out here to be had. But I'm happy to get just a little taste of the season for the morning here. Got other things to do, so yeah, head home, feed the dogs, see what's going on over there, see if those guys want to get out of the house and go exploring with me or something today. I still want to go down to the pond, set up a camera trap, and maybe stop by the rattlesnake den in Upper Heritage. See if there's any snakes around. I should do that right away, actually. I want to be successful at it, but I don't really want to go there with the dogs. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. The day is but a fetus. Back at home now. Had breakfast. The dogs had breakfast. And I got a call from Fish and Wildlife. And today is the day, I guess, that our water snake is being bid adieu and moving on. They have found her a home at the Royal Albert Museum in Edmonton. So that's cool beans. It's going to be moving on today. The wildlife officer is on her way here in the next hour or so, and we will say goodbye to the water snake. Another adventure completed. All right, look out, dogs. Snake is a little bit bitey.
Is it in that one?
Yeah, so nice pictures so we don't have to do them around the dogs and stuff. This guy's a little bit bitey.
Oh, don't bite me. Running these bushes. Has he just been staying in like a terrarium? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, he's had a terrarium with a water molding, like a rectangular molding you can go bass in.
Yeah.
But he hasn't eaten anything. Like, I tried to feed him rats because I got other snakes,
Yeah.
like dead rats. You wouldn't eat a dead rat. I tried a live mouse. He wouldn't go for a live mouse. I tried live crawdads twice.
Because it's from South.
Wouldn't touch him. Well, he's supposed to be basically like an aquatic snake, right?
Yeah.
So they eat fish, they eat crawdads, they eat even like big earthworms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they can eat, mice and stuff. He was obviously big enough to handle a mouse.
Yeah.
But he hasn't eaten anything. He shed twice, so it means he ate good coming in.
Okay.
But, and, it's nothing to worry about that he hasn't eaten yet, the time period.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to let him know, I haven't got him to eat yet.
Okay. Cool. Well, he's going to go on display in a museum.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we were hoping to transport him and keep him housed, well, the biologist, Stefano, was,
Right.
in Ontario.
Oh yeah.
But just with the way permits are working to get him there and getting the cost of transporting him, and then even, so we had someone at the Royal Albert Museum saying that we're going to euthanize him and then...
Well, they're going to euthanize him and put him
Yeah.
on display. It's that kind of display.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. I know. It's the worst part of my job, but you know what? He got himself into this trouble. So.
Yeah, it's, well, you're going with ice now.
Yeah, exactly. I know. My daughter was like, "Don't kill him, Mom. Can we just keep him?" Because we have a snake too.
Yeah.
I was like, "You already have a snake. Like, we're not."
I thought he was going to be a terrarium, but,
No, we tried. We
You
actually.
should-
That's why it's been so long. It's been a month. And
yeah.
It's like, you know what? We need to wrap up this file.
I knew it was going to be a problem taking back east, or obviously to the States,
Yeah.
But I figured maybe they'd find some kind of...
Nothing alive. Nobody wants him alive.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right,
I'm
well...
gonna hand him over to the biologist, and they're gonna put chemicals in him and make him look pretty. So.
Nice. See you, buddy.
At least other people get to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you.
You bet. See ya. Well, that was a different outcome than expected. I thought when they said he's going to the museum, he's going on display, he's going to be on display in the museum, I figured in a terrarium. Apparently not. So, yeah. It's evening time now. Des and I are here at Spopikami to set up the camera for that mink. And if I were a lawyer in a courtroom arguing my case that this society that we're in, this mainstream culture of Canada and Alberta and in the United States, that we are engaged in the projection of our own social warfare onto other plants and animals, and that our stewardship models are based on warfare tropes. If I were arguing this in a court right now, today, after what happened this afternoon, I would just say, I rest my case. You know, there was nothing to do for me to do except laugh at what was going on, even though it's an incredible tragedy for that snake. Hold on, just looking at what's going on here by the beaver lodge for a moment. I can see they've got a food cache growing under the water there, so they know their winter is coming. There's a few turtles up on the surface, and on the lodge itself you're not going to be able to see it with this camera. Yeah, the food caches for the winter is already growing. But I better turn the mic away from the wind, the prevailing wind. Yeah, that wasn't that ridiculous. I mean, and it's not. I'm not. Let me make it clear. I have no criticism at all about the wildlife officer who came to receive the snake. She's doing her job, and there's really nothing else that she could do. But okay. This guy's right passed out. But it was a pretty silly result of the whole situation. You know, they should have found somewhere for that snake to go where they didn't have to kill it. I could have done that for them. I don't buy the whole argument that, you know, the permits were too difficult to get together, or, you know, oh, it had been a month, we need to close this file. It's not a file, it's a living being's life. It wasn't like it stowed away on purpose, like it jumped into the, a car of a train as it was running down the track. It's like, I'm heading to Alberta, That snake is a victim of the industry. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm gonna switch cameras so I can show you the turtle situation here this evening, which is looking pretty nice. Now, this is more of what I expect to see when I come by here. Haven't seen this for a bit. Logs just jammed with turtles. So that's hopeful. Wide South Pool today is just full of mallards. I'm not seeing any other species except for those, of course, the yellow legs that I showed you as we entered the pond. So white-tailed deer out there on the wet meadows. I've lost sight of it though. Alright, I'm going to switch back to the other camera. Little wandering garter snake. This den is up that way, but the smaller snakes, aside from the newborns, kind of come into those dens late. They can tolerate a bit more chill in the night. Yeah, man, I feel bad for that snake, that water snake. There's no reason it had to die just because it came to Canada and Alberta. Like, there's a lot of snake people here that would happily take care of it. It's no danger to anybody. There's no danger of it. I mean, even if it, okay, say you gave it to, with a permit, to a snake keeper who you could trust to properly take care of it and all this stuff, maybe use it in some way for public education even while it's alive. In the off chance that that snake keeper somehow lost that snake and it got away, the chances of that snake surviving in Alberta and reproducing in Alberta and causing a situation where it's another invasive, oh, there's another wandering garter just headed out. Little guy, that's a neonate. So there's got to be a new den close by, I'm thinking. So that's two little guys, and that one was just a newborn, which means it's very close to the den. There used to be a den right up here. Maybe I should check it out and see if they're back at it. Shit. The water snake. It was no danger. The chances of that snake becoming an invasive species in Alberta, it's not zero, but it's way out there. Like it could have totally stayed here and lived a life. But because it didn't have its paperwork in order when it crossed the border, that snake is fucked. And they don't want to take the time to get new paperwork in order to move it anywhere else, or they can't find anybody meaning a government organization to take it, because I could find somebody in 24 hours easily to take it. So how much they actually looked, I would say zero outside of government organizations, which is why it's going to the Royal Tyrrell. And I don't think it's going to be on display. I think it's going to be a specimen in their zoological collection. They probably didn't have a plain-bellied water snake yet, and they got to have their Noah's Ark of museum. So they'll take it, but only if it's dead. And that, to me, that's fucked up. They could have it when it's dead, when it dies. Like right now, it's living a life, and we don't have to kill it, but we're killing it as government protocol. We're killing it. And the reason for the rationale for that can only be the fear of the invasive, local species, you know. But in this case, like I say, there's so little reason to be afraid of that. It's animal cruelty, you know, and it's not taking life seriously. And I am all for using carcasses for learning from, you know, once things die, but not killing them so they can become a specimen in a museum. Yeah, this is where the garter snakes used to den, is right in here. And they're not here. The last place that they had, which I've shown on video once or twice, up underneath the bridge there, just on the other side of the bridge, is that got like attacked by badgers or something the other year. So I haven't seen many garter snakes since over there. I would say they have a new place, which I'm gonna have to locate. It's pretty discouraging. That this is what we're doing with plants and animals. Even like if that water snake goes into the museum and becomes a specimen, which it seems that's what's going to happen, assumedly someone at some point will try to learn something from the specimen, and maybe they'll learn something. But where is the respect for the animals and plants that are teaching us in this life? Because, you know, in the tradition that I've been taught in the Ecological and the way of the people that belong to the waters, well, we're supposed to have, that's part of the treaty, that's the core part of the treaty, for the animals not just ganging up and killing us, so they easily could, was that we're gonna learn from them, you know, things that we need for our life, and we're gonna have respect for them and not just kill them willy-nilly because we're afraid of them. That's the core of the treaty of this place between the human beings and the animals, and it's being violated by the weed warfare people, by the government, in its handling of wildlife. It's very discouraging, and all I can do is talk about it and show it and laugh, you know. But that's the way it is. Anyway, I'm gonna set my camera to where I know there's a mink hanging around, and I'm gonna come tomorrow morning to do walk and talk and retrieve it, and we'll see if we got any footage of the mink. If not, I might. No, I'm not gonna show. I'm not gonna show that footage from last week because it's just gonna give away its position. But if I get something overnight tonight, I'll add that to the video. Otherwise, I think this will be closing for the day. It's gonna be dusk here soon, within an hour or so. Sun's going down. And yeah, that's been around. Sunday morning, down at Spopikimi for my walk and talk, and to pick up the mink camera to see if we got anything from the mink. And today there's something dead on the Big River Island that is attracting a lot of turkey vultures. We're gonna see if we can get close to any of this scene without disturbing them too much. We have this one family of turkey vultures in Blackfoot peacocks. One family that's been making a comeback here in Lethbridge. No doubt this is them. There's I think about a dozen in the family now that come here every year. They roost in I think in a spruce tree up in the London Road area. The people who host them, I hear, love them. I'm wondering how close they will allow me to even get here while they're feasting on whatever carcass is here on the bank. I'm going to be quiet and move my way up. Oh, they're all splitting. I've upset them. They're gonna go roost on these trees over here. So let's go see what they're eating. In any case, yeah, they're just gonna roost. They're roosting in the forest right over here. We'll kind of look at that scene too. I'm betting deer carcass. I can already smell, I think, some decomp. There's magpies at the scene as well. Not quite as skittish as the peacocks. Oh, yeah, it stinks. Whatever it is, it stinks. No wonder the vultures found it. Whew. Yeah, the magpies are not leaving it. I think it's a deer carcass. It's probably the first the magpies have been able to get to it while these Watching all these vultures get after it. Oh, it's pretty rank. Yeah. Nasty deer carcass. Whew. Well, that's kind of cool. Guess it was a little buck. Look at all of these vultures just waiting for me to get out of here. See how close we can get on this island to their perch without upsetting them. That is some nasty breakfast they are enjoying. I'm glad I'm not a vulture. Let's take another look at them now that we're a little closer. That is just way too cool. Holy smokes. So I count 13 birds roosting here, waiting for their meal. There's 5, 6, 7 there. There's one flying. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 birds. Well, I'm gonna let them be so they can have their breakfast. Go back at it. Nasty as it is. Oh, 15 birds. There's one up here. Wow, that's quite the group. That's a record for me for Spopikimi. I've seen Biko geeks out here, but I haven't found them eating something, and I haven't seen this many. That's awesome. Making their slow comeback from the buffalo extermination days. The wolf extermination days, I should say, when the wolfers were killing buffaloes, stripping their hides off, and then putting strychnine on the carcass. Everything that ate those, including the turkey vultures, had a sad demise, and that's what originally wiped out the bald eagles. Wasn't the DDT or whatever. That just added to the pressure that was already there from the buffalo extermination and the wolfers. And the Biko geeks and the magpies were wiped out from this area completely. Magpies made a bigger, quicker comeback. But these turkey vultures are just starting to get there. Alright, so that's a good end to this video. If there's anything from the mink on my game cam, I'll throw it up as a conclusion here. Again,